believe we are live.
All right, I got the notification.
Y'all let me know if you can hear yourselves coming through on the live stream. Hold on. If not, I'll adjust it.
I don't even know where the sun is coming from.
Because you clicking on stuff.
A stupid ad.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
all right, I hope everyone can hear me out there loud and clear. Still clicking on buttons, making adjustments. Um, all right, can you all hear me on the live stream?
Yep.
Now, can you hear
Yes.
yourself on the live stream?
How can I hear myself? Oh, a minute, what?
Yeah, we're being picked up on the live. Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear everything.
Can you hear yourselves though?
Yeah, I heard myself just now. It's a little delay, but you know. And there's TMH. And there's me again.
All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start dropping the link in the back chats. I know I probably should have done that before, but I want to make sure that all the sound was coming through before we did that. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this live on air that all of y'all are admin. So, if the buffoonery comes in, go right ahead and eliminate some folk. Don't even waste your time with them, because it ain't that type of party. Not tonight. I just want to say greetings to those on the panel. Uh, that's actually my better half in the background doing stuff. I don't know what she's trying to do. So you'll hear all kinds of sound effects for whatever reason, but it's not playing. So I just want to put that out there for the record. It's not playing. Um, as you can see by the title of tonight, and I'm not even going to keep the people in the chat long. So greetings to those in the chat, those that are listening, to those in the bushes on standby. Uh, I see Lil Yos up into his house. We were gonna have a discussion about who are the real Chahta. I've been seeing a lot of stunting and faking uh, when it comes to who are the Choctaw. You got a lot of different people Choctaw, and a lot of people that claiming to be Choctaw are running some of these scams. I guess it's just the easiest one that people could just latch on to and say that they are Choctaw. And I've been listening for a long, long time, and I've been watching for a long, long time, and just seeing what's been going on. And this is kind of, uh, I guess, to carry on part two of what Phoenix Moon had on her live stream. I had planned to go live earlier, but out of respect to Chief Warhorse, I didn't. And this is why I am very adamant when it comes to scammers, for this very reason, that no one is immune to being scammed. Chief Warhorse has been around the block for a long time. And she's admitting to us, to the whole world, that she got scammed. So no one is immune to being scammed. I go hard in the paint like I do because I have been scammed. I was scammed over 20 years ago, and I'm still having to pay from being scammed. So that's why I do what I do, because it not only impacts the person that is being scammed directly, it impacts their loved ones, their livelihood, their reputation, and their character. And that's why I want no affiliation or association with scammers. So I'm going to, every weekend, I'm going to come and I'm going to do just a little series on some things to show you. So these same people, these same groups of people that Chief Warhorse is talking about and been talking about for the last, few days, almost a week or so, is the same group. And this is what a chief does. She introduced these people to our community. That is how I knew Hamhock, whatever he wants to call himself. That is how I was introduced to him, was through Chief Warhorse. So when people keep saying, "Oh, you the one and I'm the one," I'm going to start showing my Facebook posts from years ago, not a couple of months ago, not last year, not the year before, like some of these New Jack Indians that are coming along, but they were RBG and everything else prior to that. This is a whole different group. We go way back, which is why some of the other groups, these RBG groups, they just say, "Oh, talk Jimmy, he's crazy, leave him alone." Because I've been around long enough to see what's going on with this scamming, and knowing that a lot of them are so-called converting to being a Native American, quote unquote, Indian American, American Indian, whatever you want to call yourself, Aborigine, because it's the newest fad of the same thing they have been trying to do. And we're not going to do this anymore. Let me go ahead and give my shout out again. Shout out to Brother No Sellout. Thank you. That's the reason why I've been out the scene for a little bit, because Brother No Sellout like putting people on assignments and stuff. But that's okay. And greetings to Brother Thomas. Y'all make sure y'all bylaws and contracts and stuff in order. Y'all better pay attention and look at what Brother Thomas is bringing. And Brother Bones, like I say, back there hitting those switches like a low rider. In case y'all didn't know, and for those that were asleep, again, there were quite a few that were listening in to Chief Warhorse tonight. I know it's not going to be as many listening to this live stream tonight, but you can play it again, and then someone play it back for her. Because I appreciate what she's saying. Because now, coming from a legitimate chief that has now confirmed the same things that those of us on the Cab Grand Rising show have been telling you every Grand Rising when it comes to scams, when it comes to getting involved in your local politics, knowing state constitution. Brother Tom's been saying over and over, what came first? The U.S. Constitution or the 13 colonies? And the 13 colonies were made up of states. They became states before they became the United States. And no one's paying attention to that. And understanding about your state constitution, paying. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, when Chief Warhorse hit on paying your local taxes, paying your local taxes. So when you go out to places and people don't understand is when you buy stuff in your community, there is what's called a sales tax, and a portion of that sales tax goes to your local government, which supports these programs that you want implemented and instituted into your communities. Oh man, think she just got on to something. Greetings, brother Copper Indio. I believe you had a link, sir. I know I added you on there, but I also know I'm trying to look on here and understand why brother Copper Indio. I don't know if you have another sign on or not, but you should have a wrench by your name because I know I made you an admin, a moderator. So I know there's suck MCs that probably are not going to come on here and not want to say anything in the chat because they're going to get booted like they from from Louisiana, that boot camp clique. Because like I said, we're not doing it. I was going to discuss, and I am going to touch on a little bit about who these people are by name. Who these people are by name. You hear people say all the time, I'm Chahta, I'm Chickasaw, I'm this, I'm that. You know, butter for the fat, kill my dog, I'm slay your cat. They tell you all these different people on who they are, but they can't tie you back or tie themselves back to the original people. Who were the people and where were they from? This is how you know. And this is something, and please, tonight, I don't want to come across as sounding like a braggart, but this is something that when you speak to the elders and they have enough faith and trust in you to give you certain things, and the things that I'm going to share can be verified. I'm not just going to tell you something that cannot be verified. There are some amongst us that have the actual names, or what you would call surnames today, the names of these tribes. And you should be able to trace yourself back to one of these tribes, the original names of the tribes, these surnames, these tribes, and these clans. And if you can't, or there you go, brother. There you go. I knew you had a wrench by your name. Hot diggity dog. Brother Carey, I knew you had a wrench by your name. Greetings. So for those that can't tie themselves back and why I say certain things and then why I'm silent on other things, and everybody thinks, oh, Doodoo just talking and he thinks he's all that. No, I am very humble by the fact that the elders and the wise ones have given me so much information that now I'm going to start sharing, not with the masses. I'll share enough. I'll start sharing with those that I know will do right by the information. Because it's not about my credibility. It's about, again, you hear all the time people talking about honoring the ancestors, but they do the total opposite by scheming and scamming. And scheming and scamming is not the way of the ancestors. I'm sorry. Anybody that's doing that, I'm sorry. They were not trying to disconnect from a system that they created. That is idiocracy at its best to do that. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. There's some up here on the panel, and there are a couple others. I don't know, for some reason it won't let it when I try to put your name in for the link. So if any of y'all that are on the panel would like to send the links out to the others, by all means, they can jump in. And this is actually a participation show. So you can jump in if you want to come in. Now, if you come in with foolishness, you're going to get booted off the panel. You're going to get booted out of the chat. That's point blank. If you come in with some serious questions, don't ask me how to sovereign citizen. I'm gonna shoot it down because I don't roll like that. And as I said before, and I'm gonna say this, and then I am gonna kick it to the side. I have been called an agent. I have been called FBI. These are about the so-called people that's supposed to be us on doing the things that I've been doing, being involved in local politics, getting to know your law enforcement, understanding that your police officer, they may say they law enforcement, but they're enforcers of the policy, which gets to your local politics. So people that are screaming stuff about federal law and pulling up papers wonder why they still get jacked up. Because along the strip of road where I live, it's 60 miles per hour on the highway, and then it bumps up to 65, 70, 75 as you go further down the road. You come through here going 75 in a 60 mile per hour speed zone, don't get over here and talking about I'm traveling, because you're going to get jacked up. It is what it is. So when you come start trying to do all this stuff that have just come on the scene by the very people that you claim to hate, you're copying, taking a page out of their book when it comes to sovereign citizenship, which is crazy. That's asinine. I've never seen such a thing. You hate somebody so much that you're mimicking them, you're copying them verbatim. Oh, peace, President James P. Gilmore. So we're gonna start breaking it down. Now, I have not said a word publicly. Some of the people in the back chats know this. I have not said a word publicly because to do this is not something that you take lightly. You have people running around here calling themselves chiefs. Chiefs of what? Chiefs of what? I ask you, chiefs of what? Now, I'm going to let it be known out here in the YouTube world, I come from a lineage of chiefs. And I am going to give you facts to back this up, that I'm not just talking. That's why I've been sitting back in the cut and waiting on who are the real Chahta. Because the real Chahta are going to tell you we've been on this continent for thousands of years. Thousands of years, even possibly longer. I'm not going to go that far because some people like I say, hey, I only speak on that which I can prove. If I cannot prove it, I'm not going to touch on it. There are others that are more scholarly than I and have much more wisdom than I to talk about it. But I wanted to break this down, and I've said it before a little bit, and I'll say it again. Document it. My great grandfather, several times on, was executed because he would not sign the Treaty of the Dancing Rabbit, and showing that his father was a chief in what is known as Mexico slash Yucatan today. He was known as a governor. See, they don't tell you this part in history that everyone talks about the discovery of Tikal. And they will always say that Ambrosio Tut was a gum sapper. He was much deeper than that. He was a chief. They called him a governor. Now, I don't know if someone on the panel, if you all could help me out, I'm gonna put some links in the back chat, and if someone could actually post the links that I'm gonna put, one of the links that I'm gonna put in the back chat on the in the Facebook panel. Here he is. There he is, and you got to go because I told you once, and I'll tell you again. I'm not dealing with the tomfoolery. You come on here, you've made accusations for years. You've made accusations. I'm not even gonna call your name because I don't have that kind of dignity. You don't even have that kind of dignity to even want your name to come out of my mouth. You've come on here claiming things, making accusations about me not knowing anything, but yet you keep popping up on my channels and on all my videos. You're the only one giving it a thumbs down. You telling on yourself. Then you commenting. You're coming on here to get more information to send back to your scammers. Because yes, I said it. All of you all are scammers. Because you have connected yourself with known Pan-Africanists. And you yourself, dude, are a Pan-Africanist. So you're done. Now, you can check that out from the sideline. That's a wrap for you and will continue to be a wrap for you. So you'll sit on the sidelines, you'll get with somebody that allow you to get a platform and you can talk about me all day long. But like I said before, and I say it again, I'm not playing games with you guys anymore. None. I spent enough time dealing with you all. And tonight, a real chief has spoken. She has told you. She has told you. She has laid out the diagram to show you who scammers are. And if you don't know by now, now you know. So you can continue to thumbs down all of my videos, but guess what? You're helping my numbers, dude. Since y'all always worried about numbers, every time you click on my video to give it a thumbs down, it still shows that you watched it, dummy. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Because now is the time out for playing games. Like I said, I'm not playing anymore with you sucker MCs. You take that for what it's worth, but we're not doing it anymore. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the back chat and hopefully it converts because it is initially written in Spanish. This is my better half not going to help me out. I used the conversion and it converted to the English because I knew some of the words in Spanish and I knew what it was saying. And this comes from a university down there in Mexico. So you can take this document, you can take this link to read about this document, this report, so that way you can have the information and so that people will know. Because everyone's talking about again. And I'll go back to this again. When you hear these so-called Native American tribes talk about blood, they're not drawing any blood from anyone, putting it in a tube and spinning it to see how much Indian blood you have. You know what they mean by blood? They're talking about genealogy. Can you trace yourself back to who you are? They're not, no one is drawing any blood. Because drawing blood is not going to tell you who you are. It will tell you who you are not. It can tell you who you are related to, but it's not going to tell you what tribe you belong to. So when they talking about tribes and when they're talking about blood quantum and the whole nine, they're talking about genealogy, which is why they don't ask you to give a blood sample when you say I'm a member of this tribe. What do they tell you to do? Trace back your family so many generations on this application. Then we'll have that conversation with you, sir or ma'am. So anyone that's telling you not to fill out the census, if you don't know that's the first sign of a scammer, then you have the problem. Because we're giving scammers way too much credit. And we're dumbing down, especially those of us that call ourselves conscious, call ourselves awake. But then they tell you you don't fill out the census, but I'm trying to trace my genealogy by using the census. How dumb does that sound? That sounds like the same people you accuse yourself of oppressing you. I want you to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, but I'm not gonna give you any boots. See how dumb that sounds? How dumb is that? Or if they give you some boots, they don't give you the laces. Hmm? So this is the same mentality from these type of people that I'm not dealing with. They go into their own platforms and do what they need to do and play their little games, but they're not going to play them here. So, as I was saying, back to our regular scheduled program. Greeting to those that are on the panel. Cobb, you can unmute yourself. Brother No Sellout and Brother Thomas and Thomas. Thank you for joining me this evening. I know some of you probably drafted in. And the rest of you, some of you should have the links. Like I said, I don't know what's going on, why it's not letting me when I put in your name, it's not even showing up. So we'll figure something out. Or y'all can put a 2.0 for do and let me know and we'll figure out how to get you up in here. But yeah, I'm going to put some links. Well, put a link in the back chat. Um, and so we can continue to have this discussion about who is who and who are the real Chahta. So I'm going to drop this first one in here, and then, man, I hope it uh, converts. I really do. Let's see here. And if one of you gentlemen would be so kind and as to put that link in the Facebook chat for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Sorry about all the extracurriculars and the background, but the little ones decided that they want to host a house party right here by the door. So you may hear them cutting up. But it's originally, like I said, in Spanish, but you're able to convert it over uh, if you have Google and you can read it for yourself to where they don't tell you, they just tell you that Ambrosio Tut is a lowly sapper, like it's some job that has no honor. It's not honorable, and that's not the truth. And you're going to find out here how they keep things hidden from us. But again, because we don't know any better, we just go with what they tell us. So in this piece here that you'll find from the Department of Education, and I'm not going to try to say it in Spanish, and my better half's over here giggling, and she's not even going to read it for me in Spanish, but I still love her anyway. And it breaks down who the two men were. It talks about one, Colonel Modesto Mendez, and then they say this lowly Ambrosio Tut that was a gum sapper. And he was like, oh, so excited. But this is going to tell you from the Department of Education that Ambrosio Tut was more than just a gum sapper. If you don't know the gum sapper, they would get the because it was used for various things. One, the gum was used like literally for a gum for you to chew to clean your teeth because they didn't have toothbrushes back then, so it would be clean with this gum. It was a sour taste. It also helped your digestive system, and then it was also used called uli that was used as this the sealant on the same material that you see the guy now that he's like, oh, put a hole in my boat and then I seal it with this sealant. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. This is how I'm going back and I'm gonna come forward. This is how the Itza were able to sail the seven seas because they sealed the bottom of the ships with the uli, with this rubber. Because you think about it, sealing all over the place, and this is what a lot of people keep forgetting when they say all these people were doing all this, and these explorers were doing all of that, and you hear about their ships crashing all the time. Dip one plank of wood in salt water. Let me know what happens after a while. That wood will rot and disintegrate. But if you have a sealant on both sides, the top where the people are actually, should I say, the belly of the ship where the people are walking, and underneath, I've shown a video before on my other channel showing how they use it as a sealant. They also use this sealant to make shoes. Your original sneakers were rubber from this particular tree, this sap. And the people that were doing it, and this is where they get the names confused, is Zapat. 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 You will also see it written as Zapotek when you hear about the people of Zapotek, the Zapotek tribe, the Zapotek people. You will also see it as Zapata. And you can tell the people, Zapata? I know. My better half is trying to correct my Spanish, but I know what I'm saying. Zapata. So they will also tell you this is how you can tell a Hispanic from an actual Maya. A Hispanic will tell you that Zapata, Zapotek, means shoemaker. But au contraire, my friend, Zapata, Zapotek is the same word that is used for Sabbath. These were your high priest. They were called, the people called them the shoemakers because these priests made the shoes. That is why the Zapata, when you go down there, they will say, oh, the shoemakers. No, it means Sabbath, which is the same word that you'll get for Shaba and Shabazz, lost tribe of Shabazz, and Sheba, Saba, Sabian. Same people. That is why when you read the Quran, they call the people of the book Sabians. What? Same people. But let's see where the rubber meets the road, because now I've already shown you Ambrosio Tut, and you can just look this up yourself on Wikipedia. Ambrosio Tut, it tells you that he was a gum sapper from the trees. But if you're able to click on that link and convert it over, I'm not going to put Brother No Sell out on the spot to read, especially tonight after all the information that has gone forth. But I wanted you to see something in this piece where he talks about here that Ambrosio Tut was also known as the governor. If you go down to where it says the part 3, section 3 of this article here, where it talks about the discovery of Tikal, and it says the real discoverer of the Mayan city of Tikal was Ambrosio Tut, who Mendez calls his governor, calls in his governor report, and from which I have sadly been unable to obtain more information. Is what the article writer is talking about. Tut was one of the people who reported the existence of these structures, but then it goes on to say this, and it says that, and there is, I'll go down a little bit and I'll go to the next section, paragraph here, and it mentions where it says, but well, let's get back to ours. It said Mendez leaves the city of Flores on February 23rd, 1848, to the nearby town of San Jose, located on the north shore of the lake. Then it goes on to say, the governor, Ambrosio Tut, 8 days ago, they had gone out to explore the path of the aforementioned ruins and feared they had been victims of the savages because they're going out there. Now, I'll skip around a little bit. I hope everybody's still with me. Hope I haven't bored anyone to death yet. And where it talks about, after the paragraph where it changes again, the font changes back to the normal font. And it says, at 5 in the afternoon, I'm going to give you the paragraph. Hold on, because I don't want to confuse anybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs down. 6 paragraphs down on that same section 3 of this article. It said at 5 in the afternoon of that day, while the entourage is without much hurry stopping in the jungle, they are found by Governor Tut. Do I need to say that again? So we've been taught Ambrosio Tut was just a lonely, had the low life job of being, because here's what we've been taught, that gum sappers are low life people. That's the lowest job. It is the most honorable thing that you can do. Because again, it gets back to dealing with the medicine. Hope everyone is still with me. And it says they are found by Governor Tut, who justifies his delay with another of those phrases that weigh gold for the imagination of who I wish I was born in those times. And he goes on to explain why he was late. How did, again, Ambrosio Tut, Governor Tut, know about this, and why did Mendez break down and say all the honor needs to go to him? But everybody's talking about Mendez, Colonel Mendez. Now, then they say Ambrosio, oh, he helped the discovery. He knew about it because his ancestors had been telling the story of where it was. See the importance of tying back to your relatives and knowing who your relatives are and sitting back and getting that wisdom. So again, the connection between this individual and myself. I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna pull up my family tree here. Let me see here. What we gonna do here? What are we gonna do here? Ambrosio Tut, whose father's name is Juan. And you translate Juan into English and it's John. This same John that would not sign the Treaty of the Dancing Rabbit, and they eliminated him. He was mentioned as, oh, yeah, He drowned from getting drunk, and the water in his drink, strong drink, gave him pneumonia. Come on, son. We're supposed to believe that. So Ambrosio is the son of John, and his mother, Ambrosio's mother, is Petronia Put Yam, and that's Poot, then separate word, capital YAM, Yam, like when you have Yamasi. Now you're gonna start to find out, and there are some people that have these lists of surnames just like I do, because I willingly gave that to the information to them. So because I knew I entrusted them that it wouldn't get into the wrong hands. And that's why you have some sucking C's tipping in here, wanting to listen in and thumbing down all the videos because they want to get a hold of this information to sell it to you. And that's not happening, Captain. Not happening. So the surname of Put or Pot, Poot, or you would have, it would also be spelled Pot, like a pot of beans, and Yam. Again, Yamasi. You're going to start to see these are Mayan surnames. They were actually tribal names, but you're going to find out again, we didn't have last names like that. So it just converted now to what we call surnames. That's why I lay in the cut and I listen to these scammers talk about, oh, I'm part of this tribe, but they can never give you any lineage. Oh, I'm Chickasaw, I'm Choctaw, I'm Yamasee, I'm this and I'm that. I'm Catawba Sioux. But they never give you any lineage. None. None. They're taking the easiest path, the path of least resistance. I wonder why. I wonder why they won't cut through the thickets. I wonder why they won't cut through the bush and find out what's really going on. So now you're going to start to see where all this ties in. So anyone that is explaining, trying to explain Choctaw should be able to tell you, where did the Choctaw originate? Where did they come from? Who were the members of the Rabbit clan? And the things that I'm saying, or things that I've said, that anybody that has known me or have been introduced to me, or I've introduced myself to them, I've always told what clan I was from. I always told who I am. So anybody that's trying to tell someone otherwise, they got another thing coming. Because like I said, I keep receipts. I keep receipts. Rabbit clan, the medicine men, the makers of the strong drink. So where did they originate? And these are the things that people don't want to tell you because they don't know. Because they have no elders and wise ones to share with them, which lets you know they have no governance. They have no self-control. They have no self-discipline. They have no social skills. None. They have no conflict resolution skills. And it shows because they don't know and they want to sell you information. So they come to the people that they think know and the people that do know, trying to get information. And what they end up with is getting with the people that they think know. Because if they think, those that they think they know, don't ask me to say this again, but those that they think know don't have any information themselves. So now they're giving out false information and coming up talking about, I'm the chief and I got this council. But you have no bylaws. Oh my goodness. How does that work? And you just heard Chief Warhorse talking about governance and putting yourself together and putting things in order. So how are you a chief with a council? And you don't have anything together. Who are these members of the council? Because the members of the council are to be made public so the people will know who's representing them. But y'all fell for the okie doke again. You keep hearing them talk, oh, we got this council. We got this council. Uh, we got this council. And then we got this council. Who are the members of the council? And I guarantee you, no true Indian tribe will have a Pan Africanist on their council. Come on, son. So I come back again and I tell you again, because people are gonna say, oh, Doodoo just shooting from the hip. But there are those that I presented the documentation before. Again, why do you think all these RBG Pan Africanist groups don't mention my name? They won't have any talk about everybody else. And all they do is say, oh, James Flames, Doodoo Vision crazy, man. Y'all stay away from him. I may be a little touched and not by an angel, but I know what I'm talking about. So, anyway, getting back to these groups and who they really are. So now I've broken down for you Ambrosio Tut and who Ambrosio Tut actually was. That he wasn't just a lowly gum sapper, but he was a governor. And another name for a governor in our language is a chief. Uh oh. Why was he a chief? Because his father was a chief. Why? And also because his mother was a chief of the Yam. She's telling you I'm from the Poop and I'm from the Yam. Uh-oh, let's keep breaking it down some more. And like I said, this is where it gets real good. So in the process of who are these people, it's going to go back. But this article, the next link, is not going back far enough, but it's going to tell you who the people are. Who are these people? So if someone could be so kind, I have a series of links that I have put in the back chat. If someone could get that first link for me, please, and then put it in the YouTube chat. So now you're going to find out who are these people. Who are these people? Now I'm talking about my people because I know who I am. And that's why I said when you know who you are and you can stand confident in knowing who you are. That's why I said I'm not saying that I'm proud of what Ambrosio Tut did because that started the snowball effect of them literally raking the land in the Yucatan, trying to find stuff. And it's not been the same since he did that. So if anybody on the panel would like to chime in, please, by all means, I don't want to monopolize the time, and I'm not going to keep everyone long because I'll make sure that I stay on underneath the shot clock because we're probably going to do this by another 30 minutes or so, and then I'm going to shut it down. Give everybody the opportunity to actually take in what Pete Warhorse was saying. Now, this is about a group of people, royal people, that you don't hear about. And who are these people? These people started here, went west, and came back. And you don't have to believe me, but it's going to show up when you start doing your research on who these people are. The Tutu Xiu, that X is the Xiu. But in Chinese, it's just pronounced Shu. Shu. How did these group of people, this title, get to China? In the words of the one sitting in the White House, China. How did that happen? Hmm? Anybody in the panel could talk. Everybody, unmute yourself, Kyle. Kyle, Kyle, unmute yourself. Anybody in the panel, this is where you're going to start to find out. And this word, shoo, Shu, as the Chinese say, Xiu, which is here, Mayan is Xiu, Chinese, it's Shu. It means rest, the rest. When they came back, they rested. And you're going to find out this Tutu. Oh, there you go. Brother Thomas, go ahead and jump in, my friend. You went on mute and you unmuted and then you muted yourself and then you unmuted yourself. Unmute yourself, Thomas. And he muted himself again. But these people, and while everyone's having an opportunity to look over the link if they are, but these people.
Yeah, this is a lot of information, a lot of good information. I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Okay, I don't know if you listen to the feed and it's part of your echo is
Can you
coming
hear me?
through on that.
I can hear you.
But I wanted to share this
Oh,
information
you
for
can't
this
hear me.
reason. Because when you go down in the history and it tells you who these people are and that they were a royal family. Are you there, Brother Thomas? Like I said, for some reason I keep hearing you're talking, but then I hear the feedback. I don't know if it's coming through your speakers or not, or if it's on my end that's causing the feedback.
Can you hear me, James?
Yes, sir. And everyone in the chat can hear Brother Thomas, please give him a please. Everyone in the chat, if you can hear Brother Thomas, please put a 1 in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I think it should be clear now because I heard James before. I wasn't hearing James speak.
That's because James is on two different. I think he's on two different mics because he's got this one's muted while he's on the other one.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm on
all
two
right.
different mics, and there's actually a little bit of a delay, but I heard you come through on the live stream.
Yeah.
And
At
President
the end of the
James P.
day,
Gilmore gave a 1.
right, James. Lil Yos, what's up? Hope everyone's doing well. A lot of stuff that y'all are hearing this evening is stuff that Doodle Vision has shared with us for months now, and we've known. He's entrusted this information to us, and we've just been sitting back and just waiting and just watching. And yeah, he got proof, he got receipts. Everything he says can be verified. I can vouch for it. I can validate it. So at the end of the day, when we on Toxic Assembly talking about proof is not a problem, we're not just saying it because it's a nice slogan. It's a fact. We don't put anything out unless we can prove it. And Doodle Vision doesn't say anything unless he can prove it. So at the end of the day, all I got to say to the scammers is y'all better run because it's time to unmask the scammers. And there are some scammers that you know, but there's some scammers that you don't know, and they about to be unmasked too. So yeah, the information and also what Chief Walls was talking about, it's sad because for that to happen to her, lets us know that no chief, no tribe is safe. And at the end of the day, what it shows us is what we've been talking about is that the only way that we can be destroyed is not from people that look like the colonizer, but it's from people that look like us. And this is the best example of that. People that look like us came under the guise of knowing the law, coming in and being able to erase debt and all this other stuff, making declarations, thinking that they're going to help, and end up trying to take over her tribe. And they're doing it to other tribes too. Doodle Vision has also put in one video that talks about that. There's another tribe that had to have an emergency meeting because they've been infiltrated by these individuals that are on this sovereign movement or Moorish movement using sovereign paperwork, declaring, making declarations to separate from the government. And renouncing your citizenship, authenticating your birth certificate. All that stuff is part of a basic elaborate scam because no one can show you any proof that it has actually worked or that it's successful or that there's people doing. So, for what it's worth, if you're a scammer, you better run because you're about to be exposed. So that's all I got to say about that, James.
It's needed.
Uh, I definitely appreciate that, Brother Thomas, because like I say, those of us that know is why they don't understand why we stand so firm on the stances that we take. And it wasn't by happenstance that we all met. Like I say, a year ago, people don't understand how people always think that it takes a long time for something to manifest or develop. But this wasn't by happenstance, and it was those of us that took a stance and was like, wait a minute, we see these scammers coming a mile away. Because in some shape, form, or fashion, in some other way, all of us have been victims of a scam. But like I say, I take it to heart because again, almost 30 years of this happening to me and still going through it and still trying to clear my name on stuff, it is not easy. And I beg anyone, I want them to watch the movie Identity Thief. And when you watch that, you'll understand. It's with Melissa McCarthy and trying to remember his other name. Help me out. Justin Bateman, Identity Thief. Watch that. And the scene when Morris Chestnut was talking to him and all the things that Justin Bateman's character had to go through just to clear himself, to clear his own name. He was having to prove who he was. Even the people that knew him doubted him. That's how deep it goes when you are being scammed. He lost his job, almost lost his family, couldn't even get gas. Everything was canceled. See, people don't factor this in when they think that this is a joke. It's more than just dealing with YouTube beef, that the fact YouTube is just the newest outlet in which they are doing it. They've been doing it via Facebook. They've been doing it since MySpace. They've been doing it since AOL. Shoot, they've been doing it before the internet even became public. That's how long they've been doing this. So can you imagine the thousands of millions of people that have been scammed, even down here in Houston, in Texas? There was a group of people that were telling them they could be part of the Yamasi tribe, and they were getting people that were over here illegally to say, "I'm a part of this tribe and I have a right to travel." So y'all didn't know that, did you? These were so-called black Indians getting Mexicans and Ecuadorians to join their fake tribe to stay over here in the United States. Because we don't know who's who. We're trying to figure out, and nobody's telling you. And that's why I posted the video when the guy was talking about, he was talking about the music industry, but it dealt no matter what walk of life on how to detect the scammer. If they give you these general statements, and you'll see it all the time. Because I've gone to these seminars. This is how I know. When they talk about, oh, for $99, all you got to do is $99. You come in here, we're going to teach you how to flip houses. We're going to teach you how to flip rental property. We're going to teach you how to flip apartment complexes. Yeah, for $99. And they give you this big binder that you have to read through. They don't teach you anything. And they talk about, oh, it's guaranteed, it works. Yeah. You see all these infomercials, but you notice you start to see these infomercials less and less and less because they've been sued. It was a scam. It was a pyramid scheme. And they go from city to city to city. And they say limited seats only. So people are like, yeah, $99, let's go. It's the same concept, which is why I told you somebody else is RBG strong. Came over here talking about this credit repair stuff. Charging people. What? $99 to get started, and you cannot charge somebody up front, which is why when you go to a restaurant and they sit you down, I'm not talking about Wendy's and I'm not talking about Chick-fil-A, I'm talking about a real sit down eatery. Do they charge you at the door? No. Do they charge you when you sit down? No. Do they charge you when they bring you water or whatever your drink, your beverage is? No. Do they charge you while you're eating? No. They send you the bill after you have eaten. They cannot charge you up front for services not rendered. So anybody trying to tell you, send me money so you can get a parcel of land that they don't even have rights to. This is why we have these conversations. And you have people giving up the money to take care of their children and grandchildren, thinking, oh, this is a way out. This is a way for us to come up. And you're worse off after the fact, because now they've taken your money, used your money to do Airbnb and go to the next city and pull the same stunt, get people riled up, talking about all these other movements, walking around with your assault weapons open because you can, because it's open carry, getting the, as they say, the locals, the natives riled up, and then they go to the next city. They could care less about you. And if you think they do, like I say again, I'm not promoting my video, but go and watch the clip where you can understand where it talks about how to recognize scammers, and skanks. Because yes, females are scammers too. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Because the majority of these organizations will come in, they will send a female into a male dominated area, and everybody's so drawn to that female and big up in that female. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She right, man. Not realizing she's all a part of the same team. We've seen it in the conscious community. Someone they send a female in, get all the information. Then here comes another group coming up. Yeah, and they telling all of your personal stuff. Plus, they know all of your talking points because you did the pillow talk. And that's why I say again, there's a certain harlot's name, two harlots names that my people don't mention because they did the same thing. Y'all ain't figured it out. But if you talk to your elders, they'll tell you. Talk to your grannies, they'll tell you, baby, that heifer ain't no good. So let that marinate for a minute. But back to our regular scheduled program, because I wanted to mention something. The tutu, shoot, it says in there that they tried to run, right, the Itza out of Chichen Itza. Now, these are not the Itza as we know as the Isa today or the Catawba Suponi. These were the same imposters that when the real Itza came back, they decapitated those in the temple. See, the Tutu, Chew, and the Itza were on the same page. So don't let the smooth taste fool you. I know the backstory because you'll read again, and all you do is check out the Cobb Grand Rising show, where it still talks about those Itza that came back. And they said, oh, they killed their own elders. No, those weren't their elders and wise ones. Those were imposters. Different group that they called themselves Itza, but were not. So those were the ones that were trying to be eliminated. Now I'm going to tell you what happened. Because this Tutu Chu was a branch of those that you call the Olmec. Not all Olmec or but Tutsu Chu, but all Tutsu Chu were Olmec. Which is why you'll see some Olmecs. They shall say, oh, they weren't people from over here. They weren't people that look like that. See, they have Asian features. Well, when you go to another land, You're going to mate with those people in the land. But does that make them any less of your people? No, it does not. So when the Tutu shoe came back, some of them still look like we look today, and some of them look Asian, but they came back. And you will find out that this was the rest in all the battles that were going on. And they talked about the battles in the foreign lands. And they came back. But you will find out when they say, oh, the Tutu Shu came back, or they came to this land at a certain time period. And then this same writer in this article on the Wikipedia is saying, oh, they're starting to discover that the Tutu Shu were here earlier than we thought. Of course we were. We were coming back home to rest. This is what the so-called people that claim to be Chahta that don't tell you the rest of the story. This was the land of rest. The Kichimaya called it the land of death, but not death in a sense that there is no more, but death in a sense of the place of resurrection. Shu means more than just rest, it means eternal rest. For those souls that are weary, you come in to rest. Boy, I'm not trying to tell anybody anything, and people say they don't understand certain things. But when you start hearing those things, that sound like certain scriptures that you'll find in the collection of books that they call the Bible. Another collection of books that you call the Quran. Why are these sayings all? Go ahead, Brother Cobb. Brother Bones, unmute
No,
yourself.
I was just agreeing. I was just agreeing on what you were saying. I mean, it sounded identical to me.
So all of these things, when people try to say that there was no spiritual aspect of it, and the two, so I'm like, you cannot talk about you are people and not have a spiritual concept and not just say, oh, there's something out there. I just believe in something out there. It was deeper than that. So why is it that these people, by today's terminology, you would call cuckoo and crazy and radical, were the same group of people that you claim to be an ancestor of, and everything that they did was part of your faith is part of your culture. So what they did within their culture, and they were able to do great things that we can't do. Why can't we replicate what our ancestors did? Maybe we're out of touch spiritually. Have we ever thought about that? Have we ever thought
That
about
part's
that?
always that part is always overlooked. That the we try to replicate everything else, but that part there.
And we don't, like I said, when we never get into what was actually said and what was actually done, because they don't want to tell you. That's why I said again, that is something. What I share all the time is it's great to read books, it's great to read articles, but get to know your people. That way, you get to know your culture. When you know your culture, when you're reading these articles, when you're reading these books, when you're reading these pamphlets, when you see these documentaries, it'll now start to make sense. It'll make more sense. Why? Because you have connected with your people. That's why I gave the example of dealing with cornstarch. Well, the Bones and I talk about it all the time. Them girls, the elders would tell, yeah, baby, you a little thin. If you need to thicken up. And they would just eat it. Eat it like ice cream. Just eat it.
Whole neighborhood with a box with a spoon in it.
I'm telling you. So again, not to bash on West Africa. I don't want to do that. What West Africans know about that? They don't even know anything about cornstarch. They don't know anything about hot water cornbread. But we're gonna get to who these people are. And I think I don't know if it was Brother No Sellout's bedtime or not, but I go get to read. But in the top part of this article, where it tells you who the Tutu Jiu, or you again in China, Shu, who these people are. Another name that they were called was Mani. I want you to hold on to that and grab a hold of this. Money. Money. I was going to go into depth, but I'll make sure not to bore anybody to death tonight, and I'll come back next weekend. I promise I will. I'll come back next weekend and I'll go into depth about who these people are. And all respect to the work that Clyde Winters has done. I appreciate all the work that Dr. Ivan Van Sertima has done, and I appreciate everything that uh, Leo Weiner has done, who was a teacher of Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. But they got it backwards when they say that West Africans came over here and ruled the Americas. It is the other way around, which is why you don't find these ships from West Africa. You don't find any ships dealing with West Africa at all. How did they get here? You tell me they swam across the Atlantic? So I'm going to prove it to you. Like I said, and I'll touch on it tonight, because getting back to who these people are all around the world, that you will find out that these West Africans called Mandi are the same people that you will find for the Tutu Jiu as Mani. And these Mani went over to West Africa with the help of the Itza, because they were the Navy, and took corn, maize, over to West Africa. And this was long before Columbus. Look up the link between the Mandi and maize, and you will be amazed on what you find. Because again, maize comes from here. How did it get there? See, I'm gonna put all, and like I say, all due respect to everyone that came before, but we are to build upon the foundation that they laid. Because we wouldn't be having these conversations if it wasn't for Dr. Clyde Winters, if it were not for Dr. Ira Van Sertima, if it were not for Leo Wiener. We wouldn't have these conversations today. That's why I go back again on dealing with the Uli. These same people, Uli, Alabama, or all Olmec, everybody had a role to play. Which gets back to why I say again, you got people claiming tribes but don't know their lane. Like I told you, track was my favorite sport, still is, will always be. But I had a runner, she was a great runner, ran the fastest race she had run all summer. But guess what? She ran in the wrong lane, and somebody else got her time, because the young lady in the lane that was supposed to be in the lane next to her didn't show up. They tell you your lane assignments. They give you hip numbers. She didn't bother to listen or look at the hip number and say, "Hey, I'm supposed to be in lane 4, but I'm in lane 5." Ran in somebody else's lane. Know your lane. That's why there's so much confusion in this so-called conscious community, because the people are claiming to be something that they're not. Because if they were who they say they would be in their own lanes. And nobody would be colliding with one another. Everybody had a job to do. My clan, Rabbit Clan, we were the medicine people. You doubt me? Look up black tea. Casina, look it up. Yapan, look it up. Tell me what you find. The strong black drink. Medicine. the elders and the wise ones. And just like when you go to the doctor today, they have to get into not only your medical history, they have to get into your personal life because they ask you a series of questions to know why you're in the state that you're in health wise. Are you a smoker? Are you a heavy drinker? Are you experiencing a lot of stress? Are you having marital problems? Are the kids stressing you out? Are you having financial problems? All this comes up in the questionnaire when you go to the doctor. So guess what? Rabbit Clan was getting all of this conversation because people would come and see the Rabbit Clan when they were ill. Hmm, what? So this is amazing that people don't know their lanes. People can on Blackfoot. Okay, well, can you break down the clan or your people? Because the clan, here's the deal: your clan is your family. Whoa, they can't break down who they are for two reasons. Either they don't know who they are, or they don't want you to know who they are so they can continue to run a scam. Because all their family members will come up and say, hey, they scammed me. Before they started scamming the public, they all scam their family first. You don't believe me? Ask a crackhead. Ask their family members. They steal from family first. Y'all remember Gator stole the Rebels TV? Hmm? Y'all didn't figure this out? You're right, Lil Yost. And that's the deal. He's saying, and it's the other way around. It's Dr. Clyde went, I can say, all respect him. He's flip-flopped it. That is why, because here's the kicker. Uh-oh. When people started coming over, they would call them Malungu, which means relative. So they don't tell you that. Now get back to these West African names. When they talk about all these West African words, they originated from here. Again, find out when they talk about Mali and that great empire, look when that came into being. And then look at the fact with all of these places, again, this is what amazes me that they say that the savages over here in the Americas had no government system, had no writings, but yet Cab Grand Rising Show, we broke it down where they talk about, oh, the government, because they said they were talking to the Mexicans, and they said the Mexicans learned it from an earlier civilization. Initially, they tried to give it to the Toltecs, and they said, nope, we got to go back to the Olmec. Because now you're going to get into what actually happened and why things changed, and why some of us, a great bit of us, left that region. But when you're reading with the Tutojiu and what happened with these Itza that were not Itza, these were actually Toltecs. The Toltecs and the Olmecs battled. The Toltecs gathered other people around and defeated the Olmec or the Uli. So now the Toltecs were in charge, but the Toltecs didn't have the wisdom. They were not able to keep it, which is why it took an Olmec, which are Maya, because the Maya are nothing but descendants of the Olmec, to discover, or like I said, I don't want to say discover, to display publicly these lost, quote unquote, or never uh, mystery that all these other civilizations, all these other group of people from all over the world were talking about. So gets us back to Ambrosio Tut. He wasn't just sitting there with a Geiger counter and said, oh, look, oh, Takal. No, it was strategically done. And it tells you who he was, of having this information, holding on to this information that we never pay attention to. We skim over it because we go by what the stories they tell us. Like I said, this is just dealing with my people. I ain't even, like I said, I get even deeper than that, where it goes on to talk about who these people were. And every time you'll see my people, you'll find Indian. It was later on when it was transitioned to Negro, black, and colored. But I already have the document showing that my people were called Indian and where they were from. And they still got relatives down there in the area of the Yucatan and Mexico and everything else. And you wouldn't know who they were until they opened their mouths and start speaking Spanish. Still look the same. So when people say, oh, people down there that look like us, well, who are these people? See, that's one thing because we have imposters that look like us too, that walk around here and they say things and they do things. You be like, man, when I see them, they look like us, but then their words sound foreign to me. So you have people that cannot break down who these people are. They cannot break down who the Guerrero. Guerrero is, again, is warrior in Spanish. And literally, Guerrero means the curly haired warriors. These were the warriors with the kinky hair, which is why you read about Guerrero and John Horse and the connection that they had, because they knew they was the same people. Remember John Horse, the Seminole, Guerrero, who became the president of Mexico, that was telling the people, come back home. Where did Jamaica got that from? Come back to Jamaica. They got that from Guerrero. He was telling the Seminole, come back home. They're not treating you right over there. Come back home and help us to fight this last stand, known as the Mexican-American War. There was never any separation. Chilango. You go up there, you deal with the Chilango. Go to Mexico. And they'll tell you, oh, they still live up there in the mountains. In the picture I showed you, they still, with my cousin, they still live up there in the mountains. Why they still living up there in the mountains? And it's amazing. Like I said, I can go to Oklahoma today and I can give my surname in Oklahoma. And they're like, oh, yeah, because they know who I am. I can go down to Mexico because I've been down there. When I was stationed in San Antonio, we drive down there and literally walk across the bridge and across Laredo. Give your surname and don't go in there acting like a African American and give your surname. And I told you, and I gave you the magic words to say, and they're going to take you to a wise one, or they're going to take you to an elder, and they're going to take you off that little $2 tour, literally $2 tour that costs you $500 because you think you're going to get some vital information and take some pictures in front of some monuments based upon what someone told you. But then the curators are also telling you that the Olmec have always been here. And then the Black Jaguar playing, that's still down there. And don't look at them like, oh, they look Mexican. They'll tell you all day long, who they are. They never deny who they are. And they'll say that they're Afro, whatever it is, in the sense of not African, but in the sense of their hair. And some of them, like I said, you look at them, you be like, oh, they're Mexican or whatever. They're just plain old Ecuadorian. Those are the ones I see on TV. And they'll tell you all day long. They'll tell you who they are because then they start giving you their lineage. And they start telling you, and they tell you straight up that these pictures that you see of these great warriors in Mexico, and then they'll say two things. They'll find a statue like, oh, he came from Africa, but then he became a great leader over here. How you gonna come in shackles and all of a sudden you a chief over here? Come on, son. And then the other ones, you'll find out that you'll read about, you won't find any paintings, or they've whitewashed them. And the Chilango, the Mayas that are still there, will tell you, hey, this is not what that person looked like. And if they can draw or paint, they'll paint you a picture of what they look like. Why, after all of this, like I said, they got a painting of Mendez, but then they don't have a painting of my ancestor Ambrosio Tut. Why do you think that is? Because then you have to explain Wait a minute. Why does Ambrosio Tut look quote unquote African? But yet he's a governor and he was a gun sapper, which meaning he was of the royal priesthood of the Zapata. How does that happen? They're not going to show you the pictures. They're going to whitewash them. They're going to put a perm on their hair and tell you, oh, this is what they look like. Go back to the article of Ambrosio Tuck that I put out there. You see the painting of Mendez, and they'll show him. He has a little frizzy hair, but then it's showing like European features, but it has no sign of Ambrosio Tuck. Then when you think that you would paint the one that actually quote unquote discovered Tikal, why wouldn't you paint him? Come on, son. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. I didn't mean to go off on my tangent. Like I said, I went into overtime, and I know Thomas is over there hitting those switches, and I know with Brother Bones, it's been a long day for everybody. But the reason why, again, I put this out here is for this reason. You got a lot of people that are faking the funk, and I'm tired of the funk being faked. And the name that the Toltec or the Tolteca gave themselves was Kakon. So you will see the battle between the Tutu Jiu and the Kakon, which are these so-called Itza that were not Itza, because again, why did the Itza themselves come back and behead the Itza? Still, like to this day, you got people claiming to be Chahta. You got people claiming to be Seminole. You got people claiming to be Yamasee. You got people that claim that they Sioux. Well, they probably are Sioux. I'll back up. They probably are Sioux. I'm not going to even say that. They probably are. You got people claiming to be Chickasaw. You got people claiming to be Natchez, Blackfoot, Whitefoot, Fungus Foot. All these different groups of people that they're claiming to be, but they're showing you no evidence. And you can tell they don't even conduct themselves like an Indian because there's no governance. You've heard from a true chief, Chief Warhorse, tonight. Break it down. If you haven't listened to it, please go check out Phoenix Moon's interview. Just you don't have to go back to the just tonight. I don't even want to say an interview because it wasn't an interview. It was a sit down conversation. And being a chief doesn't make you perfect. And Chief Warhorse has admitted that. And that's why I said to those groups of scammers, I was introduced to them by her years ago. This was during Hurricane Katrina. See how far this goes back? See how far it goes back? And what Chief Warhorse was talking about, the governors and all this stuff, and the things that we've been talking about on the Grand Rising show, because she knew about government, state government, local government, and knowing about those PIH codes, public Indian housing codes. See, this is why that group of scammers that scammed her and scammed others are trying to use this information because now they want to start opening up casinos. That's why when you hear people talk about, oh yeah, I'm finding out about this, but I want to open up. You want to open up a gambling shack. You want to open up a juke joint because you think that's what being an Indian is all about. Come on, son. Come on, son. That's the only reason why you want to be an Indian because you want a piece of land so you can open up a juke joint. There you go, brother. That's what I'm saying. Lil Yost is on it. Lil Yost is one of I'm telling you, one of the great young masterminds. So, like I say again, we sit here, and for those of us that don't speak up against the scammers, shame on us. Especially if you calling yourself being an Indian, because that's not the Indian way. That is not the Indian way.
And it's interesting that you spoke about speaking up against the scammers because on Ain't TV we dropped 24 hours worth of video that's exposing some scammers that people. What's the best way to put it? Some people acted like they didn't know what was going on, and there you hear their voices on these recordings. You hear their voices on the calls, and they still trying to go around the community acting like they don't know what's going on. You know who the scammers are because you hear them talking. 24 hours worth of recordings talking about how they're getting paid for certain things and how they wanted Bones to take over the website and incorporate it and get paid from the community. But yet and still, these same people that are listening, that never missed a meeting, are still associating with those same scammers. Personally, I don't get it, but I guess it's not for me to get. But at the end of the day, you know, the truth is out there. You can't hide from it. You can't run from it. Now the narrative is, well, we focusing on moving forward. We're not focusing on the past. Well, ignoring the past and moving forward is what got us in this in the first place. If we continue to let scammers be amongst us and in our midst, and we don't address them because we scared them because they promised us something they haven't delivered on yet, then how are we any better than the Indians that, that turned on our ancestors thinking they was gonna get something, didn't get anything? Y'all know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking to.
You can eat them paint chips. It's just like, you can bite the cabinet.
You need to mute, bro. Chill out. You need to mute, bro.
You right?
Come in here sound like the beginning of that Marvin Gaye song. What's going on there, man?
Banana and salsa.
No, shut up.
I'm supposed to do this.
You don't realize we loud.
Oh, you part of the NFC Least too. I'm a red
Mute
field.
yourself.
Have a good night. Have a good night, bro. Look, I can put the banana in the sauce. Now that's a minute. Look, banana in the sauce. Hold up. Let me see. What it say? It was a boat. We was I ain't fucking with it. I ain't no joke. Hey, look, they got it. You got to do with the banana. And I know the name taquitos, chicken taquitos. He's all right. You say you ain't got no chicken yet? I saw the video that each one. This is like, I ain't no joke with a chicken. It's midnight. It's 12:45. You good? You good? You good? It was 11:55. Wing with me, not win with me. Wing with me, wing with
But no set out. We over there hearing your whole conversation, man. What's going on up in there?
I didn't hit you on the line, but my bad. My check.
Yeah, say hello to everybody in the chat because they heard you too. Now he gonna go on mute.
Yeah, now he's muted himself. Like clockwork.
Yeah. Can I be heard?
Yes, everybody can hear you. Everybody heard you. So say hello to everybody.
Hello to everybody.
Mm-hmm. So basically, that's all I got to say about that. At the end of the day, we've been calling out scammers. We've been calling out to the community for people to recognize who the scammers are and just make a decision. Like I said, I've been called. We've been called the police and all the other good stuff. But if you pay attention, you really do your history, you'll realize Indians actually did police themselves. They actually did be on the side of right. They actually did call stuff out. And truth be told, real Indians took heads. So how you gonna claim to be a real Indian and you being neutral? How you gonna claim to be a real Indian when you letting scammers do what they do? How you gonna claim to be a real Indian when you being all up on their pages and supporting them and bigging them up when they're not doing real Indian things? You're not being a real Indian. You're not. You're not honoring your ancestors because if you were honoring your ancestors, one, you would do your genealogy. Two, you would be able to break your tribe down to a clan, and then three, you would not be putting up with this BS. You would not be putting up with these scammers. You would be calling them out and you would be disassociating with them. And then you wouldn't be getting mad at me because I'm calling you out on it. Tell me something I think I'm the police. We got to police ourselves first. Would you want wait for somebody else to police us? That's how we end up getting in a situation we're in. If we don't police ourselves, somebody else is gonna police us. So you get mad at me all you want to. Like I said, what you won't do is come see me. Because you're scared. Yeah, I'll be the police, I'll be the snitch, I'll be the FBI. Because like I said, if I catch a person coming over to our channel, dealing with anybody I know with that solving crap, I'm shutting it down. If I got to come to your house with the FBI and them chrome bracelets, I'll make sure they let me put them on you. I'm not messing with Donkey Doe. So like I said, you ain't got to make a choice. You don't have to make a decision. Decision's made for you. You deal with scammers, don't deal with me. So that's all I got to say, James.
No, that was on it. And like I say again, all this just so everything just come to a great crescendo or to a great point of an arrows and everybody talking about shooting the arrows up and feathers up is means you at war. That's what people don't understand. You put your feathers up, you put your feathers down, and feathers down, you've gone into battle. Feathers up, you are at war, but it's a time of peace. Because why would you gonna be going through the thicket with your feathers up when your war bonnet get caught in the thistles and stuff? So people do things, and it was mentioned tonight when it was said, "Hey, by law, if you coming in to Oklahoma with your feathers up, that's a sign that you at war. So who you at war with? So the people in Oklahoma are gonna think you at war with them because you don't know state laws, you don't know state constitutions, you don't know tribal constitutions and bylaws. So I hope you're ready to fight those in Oklahoma if you walk in Oklahoma sporting your war bonnet from another state. See, people don't know what these things mean. They do things. That's why I just sit back in the cut and watch. And then when I make subliminal videos, that's when they come out like, oh, dude, I'm coming after you. I'm gonna take everything you got. Why? Because in my subliminal videos, they know that I'm on to them and have been on to them for years. Anybody that knows me, been hearing the same thing from me. I have not changed this record at all. And it's amazing. You see, I'm gonna show you something that Chief Warhorse was breaking it down tonight on getting involved with your local government and how to do it. That lets you know that she is a true chief of Chahta because that's what my elders and wise ones taught me. So when someone tries to come out and tries to use the fact that I'm involved in my local government and calling me an agent and to watch out for him is really being anti-Indian. So you gonna call Chief Warhorse an agent? You gonna call her a snitch? You gonna call her working with the FBI? So you can't ride the fence on this one. That's how you can tell who are the true Chahta, who are the true chiefs, who are the true elders, who are the true wise ones. This is how you're able to tell. Anybody that tells you to totally disconnect from what is rightfully yours is an idiot and a scammer. And usually it's a combination of the two.
And
See,
there's one
we're
more
going to keep
thing.
playing. And again, we're going to keep playing and we're going to keep playing and we're going to keep playing the games with these folks. And you're going to get caught up. And if you think it's not going to happen, y'all go ahead. Because no offense, but where is Dr. York? Can anybody tell me? Anybody on the panel? Y'all tell me. Anybody in the chat? I'm gonna yield. I'm gonna
Yeah,
mute myself. I'm muting myself.
yeah, he in jail.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in jail. Child molestation cases, not just
Whoa,
one, multiple.
do what now?
You talking about Malachi Z. York, right, Dudu?
Yeah, is that the person everybody be talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Malachi Z. York. You see how the connection comes in? You see how the connection comes? This is why I say again, all these scammers start having one thing in common. They start dealing with child molestation. That's why I say again, when you have a pedophile on your so-called council, come on, son.
Come on now.
So you go ahead and you go that route. Like I say, I've been around long enough to have seen this. Y'all heard Chief Warhorse say the other night, every 10 years, the same thing pops up. About every 10 years, here we go again. And well, how long, when was Hurricane Katrina? Did somebody tell me? When was Hurricane Katrina?
About 10 years ago, right?
I think my bed half over here. She trying to be quiet, trying to tell me in my ear, but she need to come on the mic and say something. But yeah, about 10 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. When that same thing going on,
Oh
yeah.
five.
Hmm. That's why I say again. This is why I say again. And around that same time, you had these scammers coming up because you knew people were getting their FEMA checks. They were getting their FEMA checks. He corrected
Wow.
2005, getting their FEMA checks. But you see how this same cycle keeps coming up. This same cycle. And nobody's paying attention. Nobody. Now it's coming to a crescendo. Now we're starting to see who's what. And you're right, but Lil Yost, Chief Warhorse is exposing the fake Chahta. Like I said, I didn't even know she was gonna be on tonight again. Before I even came up with this title, because I say again, those that have you sit down and talk with a chief, a true chief, they're gonna tell you to get involved with your local government. Find out what's going on in your county. Find out what's going on in your state. Quit walking around with the U.S. Constitution in your pocket. Because that's what that group does that you claim to hate. Those extremists, that's what they do. Those Klan members, that's what they do, who gave birth to sovereign citizenship. They walk around with the Constitution in their pocket. So y'all, man, y'all are not getting the connection. No true chief is going to tell you. Because again, the same people that are telling you to disconnect keep going live on YouTube. Come on, son. You walking around with smartphones. The smartphones are for dumb people. Probably why I have one. But see, they keep telling you to totally disconnect, but then they tell you to go to their PayPal. What? Go to sign on, log on to their Patreon account and send them money. Yeah, my brother said go fund me, but it's go fund me. Leave out the D because they want to have fun. Go fund me. I want to go to I want to go to Disney World, so I'm gonna get on here and open up a GoFundMe and say I need it for a guy that can't walk anymore, who's going blind, and I'm gonna put him out there and it's GoFundMe. Come on, son, y'all. Again, if you want to be scammed, I got enough Nigerian emails. I'll send you the link. I'll forward you all of these. Knock yourself out.
Here's
I am
another thing to
Prince
think about.
Zamunda. If you send me $1,000 when I get out, I will send you $100,000. Dollar. Come on, son. Take dollar signs.
James,
What's going on here?
James, here's something else to
He
think
said
about.
$10.
Here's another thing to think about. Think about this.
What's that ASAP
If
Rocky with a dollar sign? Come on, son. What are we doing here? This is what I keep saying, man. What
What
are
is
we
this?
doing to ourselves that we think that this is cool, that it's okay, and it's not okay. It is not okay. So I'm saying all that to say this: if you think that you are going to be able to get away with this, you may get away with it for a little bit, but you won't be able to get away with it forever. And I'm sorry, there was somebody that was doing all this stuff and all these hedge funds and all the rest of that stuff. What's his name? Bernie. Somebody help me out. What's his name?
Madoff,
Bernie.
Bernie Madoff,
Oh, whoa, man. Bernie Madoff. And he made off with what? Because where is he now?
he doing fair time.
Oh, he ain't at the same place with Dr. Malachi York. What? And they end up in they
Mm-hmm.
may not end up in the same facility, but then they end up in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lifetime retirement plans.
Bernie thought he made off with your money. See,
What
y'all
is my
gonna figure it
surname?
out. Y'all think this is a joke, but you go ahead. And like I said, I have seen too many people live on Facebook and on YouTube literally get snatched out of their seats. And everybody, oh, what happened? Oh, they didn't have the right to kick in their house. Yes, they did. They had every right. Because you a sovereign citizen. Where is your land? I want to know. Because again, the land's still going. You this is my grandmama's land. Wait a minute, that gets back to genealogy. Hmm? And when you're a sovereign citizen, you disconnected yourself even from your family because you're denouncing even your birth certificate, which is your certificate of birth. That's all it is, dummies. It's just saying you were born. So you wasn't born. It is certifying your birth. That's all it does. Anybody that's telling you anything differently, they talk about, because it has informant on there. It has informant because that's the one giving the information, dummy. Come on, man.
They can't
Informant.
help it.
It's an informant. It says the same thing on your death certificate too. It says informant because they are the one informing the people that you are dead. They're when they say go down and claim the body. Duh, go claim the body. But you were cutting yourself off from everybody that you know. You were literally cutting yourself off from your tribe. Because your tribe is your relatives. You already heard that tonight. We've already been saying that before. Genealogy. That's why another group. I'm sorry, Brother Thomas. Go ahead. I'm on my soapbox, man.
No, you good. But here's the thing that people got to pay attention to. You got this is really big Indian news. So here's a question I gotta ask you. If your favorite YouTube channel who talks about indigenous stuff has not mentioned Chief Warhorse and the scammers that she's calling out, there might be a reason why they're not. Because they're affiliated with the scammers that she's calling out. Something to think about.
Are using the tactics that she spoke out against.
Facts.
The
Both of y'all.
the same tactics that over a whole week or even before, people are trying to warn people to be careful of. People claiming that filing these paperworks and things work, but you hearing an actual chief telling you how to do it. That anything doing that paperwork is a BIE list. You got people in the community claiming the Washington Nation, but you heard the chief tell you that was a more sovereign citizen act. First to be on the BIE list. I mean, if the chief is telling you this, there's a chief that's telling you this, and you still not willing to change, then I mean you basically telling everybody you ought. I don't. Hey. So walk like a duck, quack like a duck is a duck.
Yeah. And if they're not talking about, if they're not being outraged about a tribe having this done to them, and they're not even mentioning it, that's probably because, like Bone said, they either use the tactics or they're affiliated with the people that are trying to scam that they tried to scam Chief Warhorse and the other tribes. So, like I always say, you could tell a lot about what people ain't talking about and what people ain't saying. If ain't nobody talking about what's going on with Chief Warhorse, they not outraged about it, they're guilty. I'm sorry, it is what it is. And if you got a problem with it, you know where I'm at. So I'm off the mic.
Very rarely I do shout outs, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and since she always says hashtag on something, I'm gonna give a shout out to Phoenix Moon because she brought Chief Warhorse out because everyone has been like, "Where's Chief Warhorse? What's wrong with her? She's been quiet. She's been quiet for a reason because you have to understand something. In order to be scammed, someone has to get close to you. And what we used to do in high school, it'd be called, spondu. And we walk up and we say spondu and we take somebody's food, or spondu, we knock the books out of their hand, or spondu, we punch them in the stomach and run off. And you were expecting in school that you had your crew. And your crew against any other crew, your crew will be looking out for you. But when you get spondu, when you get gut checked and have your stuff taken from you, that hurts. But what hurts more than anything is when you look up and see somebody in your crew did it to you. That's what Chief Warhorse was going through. That's why she was quiet for so long. Because it's like, I can't believe that these people that were closest to me did this to me. People that I helped promote it. People that would have never known who they were had it not been for me. That's why I said Ham Hock dude, I would have never known who he was had it not been for Chief Warhorse.
Was it him?
Ham Hock,
Okay, all right.
Ham Hock Fat Lip. Ain't that his name?
I think so. It sounds familiar.
Look him up. Look up Ham Hock Fat Lip and he'll show up. That's taking people's social security checks, and that's cool. Cause back that's why I said it's just a new means of doing the same thing. Cause people back in the day used to steal people's social security checks out of the mailboxes and endorse them and go cash them at Ace. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And people would see them do it and wouldn't say anything.
Make them just as guilty. Even worse.
Exactly. And this is what's happening now. They're sitting back and they're saying absolutely nothing, no thing, and letting it slide. So people that think that, oh man, they ain't doing nothing wrong. Why do you think, like I say, certain names I won't even mention when I say Joe Jackson and the casting couch and the fake conferences that they have. You know how they charging out the wazoo to give you false information, and they know it's false because they sitting back in the cut laughing about it before they all go on stage. Man, I'm gonna say this, and you come back and say that.
Have that dirty sofa everybody racing to get you.
Man, I'm telling you, that STD infested, you need a tetanus shot just walking by that couch. That is literally, you talking about the T virus that started Resident Evil, it started on that couch.
Is that the same couch from Coming to America?
Ew.
That's that follow the drip couch. I'm telling you, man. That man, that couch right there, I'm telling you, man, I'll tell you, I would have to open up my free clinic around the corner just because of that couch. Do you know what has been on that couch? And people rush to get there. Though I said it's the same thing. It is a branch from his baby, which is what he learned. It's the same thing. And nobody and they get new people in. Like Lil Yost came in, he's like, man, I didn't know this was going on. You're trying to figure out. Now say, I'm saying, just using this as an example, Lil Yost. Say if we never said anything, we knew who was scamming, and we never said anything. And you're getting affiliated with this group and that group, and all these groups are scamming, and we never said a word. And then when you find out later on you got scammed out a whole bunch of money, or even if it's a little bit of money, I don't care if it's $20, scamming is scamming. And then you come out, you be like, well, man, I didn't say nothing, but I'm cool with everybody. So, I was just letting you just go through and find out for yourself. So, what kind of example are we setting? Really? And we don't say anything until it happens to us. And then when it happens to us, then everybody's supposed to stop doing what they're doing. But I'm like, no, you weren't concerned when everybody else was getting scammed. Now you want everybody to pump the brakes, throw on the emergency brakes. Now you want to say something about it? Now you want to push that big yellow air brake button, that parking brake now, and come to a screeching halt now? So I don't mind. You can come after me all you want to. Somebody told me, oh, you keep talking, I'm gonna have everything you have. Good. Then you can take the burden that comes along with it too. Because people don't understand why you thinking about, like I said, that line when Uncle Ben tried to tell Peter Parker, hmm, with great power comes great responsibility. So everybody want to be on top. Well, I put on there about pop life. Everybody wants to be on top.
No, they don't want to be leaders now. They don't want to be leaders. When the responsibility come out, they don't want to be. No, they just YouTube people.
And they're the first one, and here's a kicker though too, Brother Bone, is they the first ones to say about giving money, right, for a good cause. And then when you say something, oh, you don't know me like that. But then why are you asking me for money? You only ask money for people you don't know, unless you were a hustler on the street. Just like that scene in Trading Places when Eddie Murphy was sitting there and he didn't have any legs. And he's sitting there begging for change, and then they grab him by either arm, and then his legs go, oh, yo, I can walk. That's the same thing that they doing. And then they telling you about, oh, I got this land, but you gotta contribute. And they don't tell you, dummies, again, what water source are you gonna plug into? Is a municipality gonna allow you, right? You are a sovereign citizen, but they're gonna allow you to plug into their water lines and sewer lines. See, things that we don't even think about, like flushing a toilet until you can't flush it. And you know that body waste is one of the most toxic things that you could come across. So you got poop and pee pee all stacking up, but you sovereign. You don't have any clean drinking water, but you sovereign. And I'm trying to figure out what electricity source are you gonna plug into so you can go YouTube Live or Facebook Live. What are you gonna do? Your cell phone. What are you gonna do? So I'm really trying to figure this out. Oh, I would just get on the mic while you over here in my ear. I can hear you, but they can barely hear you. Yeah, that's why I said, yo, who's picking up your trash? Because I know, the machines coming, the two guys or whatever, they got the one arm thing that picks up your trash. What are you doing with your solid waste? Your solid waste management. You ain't thought about that.
And they never will.
So you sitting here and talking about, hey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do this, and it has everything to do. Anyone that's sitting there saying it, you're saying that you are your own individual person. No one was responsible for bringing you into the world. That is the total opposite of being an Indian. The total, and I say it again, the total opposite of being an Indian. And I
10 out of
say, go ahead, brother Bone. I'm sorry.
no, I was just agreeing, 10 out of 10.
And I should have labeled this, I guess, better of saying, about the real Indians. But I got specific with Chahta because those are my people. And that's why I wanted to break it down specifically. Because again, you're hearing Chief Warhorse break it down as if she were listening to a Cab Grand Rising show. She broke it down and told you how to get involved. She told you how to break down into my dealing with homeowners association. And so, because homeowners association, and I always say this, homeowners association is Confederate state, because you can pay your mortgage and you can have your house paid off, but you don't pay your homeowners association dues, they can take your house. They can foreclose on your house. I know at least two families that they've done that to, because they were like, I own this, you can't tell me what to do. And they literally have foreclosed on their house. So keep playing. If you keep playing, if you want to. Cowboy hat. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry about that. I had a sidebar with my better half. They will literally foreclose on you. And so she's saying when you come together and you form your homeowners association, guess what? That is your reservation. Because even the judge cannot overturn that. They got their houses foreclosed on. Not because of lack of payment, but because they didn't do their dues. They didn't pay their monthly dues, whether monthly or a lump sum annually. Because we're not thinking straight. We don't understand government and how government works. You got a couple of people, they got a couple of books, or they got a couple of PDFs offline, and they taking certain segments. And you know what I heard tonight too? I know, but no sellout again. I know he's entertaining. It's some of his clients over there. One of his clients, I had to excommunicate out of the chat. I know you listening from the sideline. Yeah, I know, but no sellouts deal with those that are. He deals with those that have needs that we can't reach. So he has that patience that I don't have to deal with those type of people. So those are the clients that he services. But you know what I heard tonight too? And I don't know if y'all caught, but I know y'all did because everybody very sharp. Like I say, the sharpest group I've ever dealt with in my life. Did y'all hear the Treaty of 1866 come up tonight earlier? I did.
Hmm.
See,
The Treaty of 1866. And no one was talking about that until when? Cab Grand Rising Show. You keep hearing about what happened in 1924. Where you get that from? Cab Grand Rising Show. So anybody's not telling you what is going on and how it's happening. Like I said, if you, after this week and everything that has transitioned, if you don't know who the scammers are by now, you don't want to know. No, I take it back. You may not just not want to know. You are one of the scammers. That's the only way to put it out there. So when it starts getting on the line and finding out who's who, and why some people don't understand, because here's what I hear. This is what I hear all the time. You get into a disagreement, heavy disagreement with a scammer. The first thing they do is say, "Well, show us who you are. Tell us who you are. This and that. They tell us who you are." But see, I already been down that line of scammership because once they know who you are, Most of these things, in order to get electricity, water accounts, various accounts, what is the one thing that that entity asks you that you need to set up? I'll go ahead and say it because it's a rhetorical question. Your mother's maiden name. So now that these scammers have your identity, now they can get where you live and your mother's maiden name, and then they go into town in your name. That's why they quick. Oh, show us your genealogy online. No, all you really need is credible people that can vouch for you within that group, and you don't have to display your whole family tree online live to prove something to them because that's what they want you to do. So those are the things that the average people don't think about, but I thought about because I've been scammed. So now they have your information because all you have to do is prove who you are and say this is my mother's maiden name. The people on the other line don't know what you look like. They don't know your voice.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have all of your information. So now what do you do? This is why I say again, this what these guys are trying to do, other people have already done. And I've already seen it. They tried to get me to join their various organizations and companies. And I'm like, no, no. And they say, oh, will you get this commission from this? No, it is still a scam. And as put out before, anybody that can tell you that tell you generalizations, like the video I put with the gentleman there, generalize, oh, this works here, this works there. Anybody that gives you a blanket formula that will work in every state, and you heard the same thing tonight. Georgia is anti-Indian, and the reason why Georgia was anti-Indian is because the English were sending all of their criminals to Georgia to be the buffer between the colonies and the Seminole. And they said, we will give you land if you keep these Indians off our back. You can research that yourself. And it's the same blood of these same people that are still raiding Indians today. So you go ahead and you put your pennant in the ground, claiming your territory in Georgia. And that's why I say again, I said this before and someone got mad at me. When they were like, oh, this is what we're going to do. I said, where's your militia? Oh, we don't need all that. Yes, you do. Because when you're making a declaration of war, you better have a militia. So if you don't have a militia, we're not doing this. And that's why when someone called me and left a message on my voicemail, I didn't call that person back. Because you are not going to get me shot behind what you trying to do. So a lot of people out there say, I don't like James Flames. I can't stand Doodoo. He this and he that. But like I say again, I double dog dare you to find anybody that has given me a red cent. Let me know. Anybody in the community that's giving me a red cent. You won't find anything about me saying, oh, just give to my PayPal account so we can get some land in North Carolina. So we can get some land in Texas. Never said that.
Or
And
some
never
land in
will.
Utah.
Oh yeah, oh I forgot. Oh, how could I forget Utah? I'm like the girl on Wild Wild West with Will Smith. What is Utah? Yeah, you go ahead. I'm gonna, man, I wouldn't send my worst enemy to Utah. What is there that I actually? One is it gets too cold up in the mountains and I don't ski. I'm not doing that because I'm not ending up like Sonny Bono. And for those who don't know who Sonny Bono is, go look it up. He crashed into a tree and died. Y'all know Cher. It was Sonny and Cher. I got you, babe. Yeah, Sonny. And he was what? Wasn't he a congressman? I believe. Yeah, Sonny Bono, congressman.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crashed, crashed into a tree. And wait a minute. And Cher came out and was declaring she was Indian. Oh my goodness. Done told it again. Whoop de whoop. And although they divorced, but hey, it was Sonny and Cher, the Indian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all thought LL Cool J was the first one licking his lips. No, it was Cher. See, I'm taking y'all back. Now I'm telling my age, man. Like I said, I didn't want to bore y'all. I just want to get that information and put it out there. I'm going to keep putting bits and pieces out there to go along. Like I said, there are some of us that know who's who by their tribes and their clan. So if people can break down, they'll tell you, oh, again, I use my example because my people, Chahta. Chahta what? What are you? It's deeper than that. Because I can go and tell you I'm Yawani Chahta of the Rabbit Clan. And then when I say who I am, those that know that I'm telling the truth, they will open up doors for you. And this is the point. They don't want you to find out who you are because now you don't have to pay the toll to walk through the door that was already free. They want you to go through them, and they are the great I am for all of this information. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to turn the mic over. Again, there are some of us that have the list of the Mayan names, and they match with what we call these Indian tribes here in North, Central, South America. And not only that, they match over to the tribes in the East, what we know as Asia, what we know as Egypt or Kemet, what we know as Ethiopia, and even getting into West Africa. So again, check Mali. That was like Brother No Sellout. Look at the timelines. Mali was established during a certain time period, but then you'll find out that the Olmec were already here. So you can't have it both ways. So did those Mandi, did they come over here? They didn't establish anything over there, but then they came over here, built all these great monuments, and then went back over to Mali and still never built any of these stone monuments like that you see. Because it's not just the Olmec heads; they had the whole process chiseled in at what we know today as hospitals, chiseled in stone of bearded men with broad noses, full lips, and here's the kicker: beards. That's what's gonna get a lot of people in trouble because West Africans can't grow beards like that. But I tell you who can: people that look like us in the Pacific Islands. And that's when I say and I say and I say again, the tutu jiu, or you'll find in Chinese the shu, or you know them even as the Shi people. Same people that went across the Pacific and came back home to rest. Then with that, the defense rests, and I yield this cotton picking mic. I want to give an opportunity to my special guests who didn't know they were going to be special guests on the panel to give closing remarks, and I'll come back and I'll give my shout outs to those in the chat, to those that have been hanging. I hope you share with everyone else. Hope you get some out of it. And again, I don't mind sharing. Like I say, the good and the bad and the ugly. Am I pleased with what Ambrosio Tut did for doing that? No. But again, he's still my relative. It is what it is. And some people may doubt what they call themselves doing their research on me. You'll find out the names match. I yield the mic.
I guess I'll go first. As always, James, appreciate the information that you provide.
He said, I want to
Thank
work.
you for helping me go back to the Mayan culture. I've actually seen that list that you speak about, and yeah, it's actual and factual. You actually get to see who's telling the truth, and who's not. Um, One thing that you had mentioned earlier, and I hope that the people caught it, and those that listen to the recording, I hope that you're catching it. He said that our people call themselves Indians. Now there are certain YouTubers claiming that we didn't call ourselves Indians, that somebody else called us Indians. Anyway,
Well,
if
all
you
I
go
know
down
is you
and
go down there and the city slickers in Mexico City will tell you, "Si se no indios," which means don't be an Indian. So why would they say that? And they tell you, they
yeah,
say, "Who are the Indians you referring to?" They say they live up in the mountains, the Maya.
exactly. So for those that are spreading that false narrative, stop it. Stop it. Don't get upset because the auditors gave Morris pet names. Don't do that. And then try to make it seem like Indians have pet names of Indios. That's not the case. Do your research. Do your real research. And like I said, for all those claiming Moors, if you want to speak to some real Moroccans, you can either get in contact with myself or you can get in contact with Bones. If you really claiming more and if you really know more, if you really know what that means, then I got some Moroccans for you to talk to. That's if you got balls enough to call. I don't think you will. You're just gonna keep spitting that fake narrative. But at the end of the day, do your research. Do your real research. Stop listening or quoting somebody that you heard and not checking sources or going online and reading books that's supposed to be worth $1 million. They don't have no sources in them. That's supposed to be a PDF. But at the end of the day, if the book was supposed to be $1 million, but there's a PDF out, how did you get a hold of it? Because again, can't nobody get a copy of Wu Tang Clan's album that was $1 million, and that would be easier, right? I'm just saying, just something to think about. As always, James, appreciate you and everything you do. Appreciate the chat, and I relinquish the mic.
I just want to say, James, thanks for the invite. And mainly, I mean, for me personally, to hear Chief Warhorse speak the same thing that we practice on a daily with the relatives and do our best not to be right, but to get it right. There's not too much more to me that needs to be said. She basically laid it directly out. And if you're claiming to be an American Indian, to be from this land, and you can't respect the history coming from an active chief, someone who lived this by blood, her lineage, if that don't tell you who these individuals are, I mean, you on that side. Laid it out that there's all this paperwork people telling you to do is fraudulent. Let us know by taking the direction, by being active in our communities and neighborhoods is the best thing that we can do to fix our conditions. I mean, other than that, I'm even more focused now.
Oh, Brother Bones, I don't know if you were finished or not, because you were definitely touching on some things.
Yeah, I mean that's I really don't have too much more to say. I just enjoy this ride I've been on with my brothers and sisters, and it's time to just even push even more. I mean, really, when we notice outside agendas, people who look like us, they have other motives going on. I mean, to me, this is the identifier right here. This is the line. This is the identifier. People still choose to deal with the other stuff after this. You're not an Indian, and I'm saying that. Keep calling enemy. You are the enemy.
And the sad part is you'll have those that will still try to remain neutral But put your car in neutral and keep revving the gas. And whichever way the land slopes, that's the way your vehicle is going. You're just gonna keep revving the gas, but you're just gonna slowly keep going downhill until you crash and burn. It makes absolutely no sense to continue to, oh, I'm neutral. And you say you're neutral, but you always bringing back messages. And you know the saying is, don't shoot the messenger, but I will kick you down that endless well like they did. What was that? This is Sparta. He kicked this is madness, and he kicked him down that well. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be the dude. His name Lionel Richie, Leonidas, whatever his name is. Then I'm just gonna kick you down the well with my
I mean,
Jesus sandals on.
hit all the way down. But I mean, being honest, this goes to people telling you signing declarations and all that. If people did not hear what was said tonight, real talk, anything calling yourself doing this, anything out talking about or having your own government, setting up your own, not listening to the government, taking something, overthrowing, that's the problem and it got to be removed. Now, yes, people can pick up things by accident, but that's what I'm saying. After tonight, it has been known. And if you're going to keep under the American Indian, of the descendants of this land, if you're going to keep using our identity to keep pushing this foolishness, it's on.
I see Brother No Sellout came back. Where you go, Brother No Sellout? Come back in before we close out. But because what they're doing is they are pulling the same stunt that James Woods did to Peter Griffin. He literally came in as like, I'm Peter Griffin, dressed like him, had the same green jeans on and the white button down shirt, and they coming in, and so we, it is part of our responsibility to say enough is enough, because I said it before and I say it again. You have people going on the channels, certain channels, and they are taking L's from other groups. But when they take that L, they think, oh, it's about them. Oh, yeah, you won nothing. You took that L. But what's happening is everyone is getting labeled. That's an Indian. All the Indians have taken an L. So when you come up with that group and you start saying all Indians are scammers because they're scammers and we don't say anything. And I'll give you an example right now. This is what the Moors are going through, because you really genuinely have Moors that are genuine in what they do. They are giving back to the community. Do I agree with everything that's being said? No, I do not. I give an example that there's a gentleman in Baltimore that is rebuilding his community. Rebuilding his community. So he's going to take an L and he's going to get labeled a scammer because somebody else has taken, oh, I'm a Moor because I found my way out of doing what I needed to do. And I don't have to, and what it ultimately is you have people that don't want, they have no respect for authority. And that's kind of why in the positions at the end of the day, they didn't respect their parents, they didn't respect their grandparents. And so they feel like I'm grown and I can do whatever I want to do. And again, that's where it gets back again to they have no conflict resolution skills, none. And when you have elders and when you have wise ones that are in your council, you're gonna get some act right because they're gonna pull you to the side and start to say, hey, they won't do it publicly. They'll pull you to the side. When you do what you do, if you are able to make eye contact, they'll give you that look. And if you keep going on, and they'll kind of do that, that little cough. And then afterwards, when everyone else is gone, they're gonna say, hey, baby, you knew better than that. Now you don't conduct yourself like that, because when you do that, you are a reflection of me. And you're not going to go out and embarrass me and embarrass yourself like that anymore. And they don't want that. Nobody can tell them anything. Oh, I can do. So you go right ahead and you knock yourself out, but do it under another title. Don't come in here talking about your Indians. And I apologize for those that were tuning in. You know what? I'll go live again briefly tomorrow because I really wanted to discuss on the Marines theme song and what this was about and tying back in to who these people are. Now I have tons of other sources, and I didn't want to overwhelm anybody this evening, but tons of sources. And like I said, this is just dealing with my people and knowing who I am and knowing my people and knowing the names of these tribes and clans. It helps me to tie into to lets me know whether somebody's actually telling the truth or not. That's why I just sit back and my grandmother say, "Baby, you give them enough rope, they hang themselves." I just sit back and I'm watching and I'm saying, "Wait a minute, there's no connection here. There's no connection there." But I wanted you to say, I just wanted to say this. If you couldn't tell tonight that what Chief Warhorse was talking about were the same things that A2 has been talking about, so like I said, you're either going to say we're both right or both of us are agents. And if you're saying both of us are agents, then you are the scammer. There's no other way around it. Breaking down all of this stuff and telling you how, again, Hambone, Fat Lip, Hammock, Fat Lip, how he went to that same route, got next to her, and started using all these things that Chief Warhorse is saying, don't do, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And if you think celebrities don't get caught up in it, look at the Neville family and how the Neville family was used to be a name of praise is now a name of shame because of what's going on with the scamming. And if you think it doesn't happen, can anybody tell me where's Meta World Peace? Anybody know? Anybody in the chat? Anybody on the panel?
No, I don't know.
After he got scammed out of millions of dollars from somebody in the conscious community, yeah, Meta World Peace. If you out there, brother, give me a call, send me an email. We worried about you. See, that's the stuff that they don't want to tell you. They don't want to talk about. And being a celebrity does not make you immune to anything. That's why I say it again. Bernie Madoff with a lot of money. He didn't take money from your everyday run of the mill working 8 to 5 people. He took money from millionaires and billionaires.
Some of the top ones.
Hey, and that's why I said people think, "Oh, I'm too smart to be scammed." You're wrong because you dealt with some of the. You look down that list of the people that he scammed, and you talking about people that had already made millions of billions before they even knew who Bernie Madoff was, and they still got scammed. But I guess scam nation is relative. It doesn't matter. Oh, they lost millions of dollars. Well, $2 for me is a lot of money. So it's all how you put it in perspective. I'm not a millionaire. So you taking $2 from me? Hey, that's the same as taking $2 million from Bill Gates. May not seem like a big deal to you, or I say $200 million from Bill Gates. It may not be that anything to you, but it means a whole lot to me. So with that, I appreciate everybody in the chat. Like I said, Gabrielle Union, you late. You are so late. You see what time it is? You late. I see all up in the chat now. You late. How you gonna be this late? As my old science teacher used to say, you get a demerit for being this late. I don't know where you been Oh, what you been doing? Don't come to my, oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even know, Doodoo. I didn't even know, James. I told everybody for the whole time I've been posting stuff to subscribe to Doodoo Duh. And so you can get all the new information. So now, if you're not here, you don't want to be here. And if you late, then you get a demerit. But I wanted to say this. Oh, you just decided to speak at the last bit. You've been in here though. Okay. All right. I see how that works. So I appreciate that we had President jump on the scene, President James P. Gilmore. As y'all know what that is, look it up. Got little Yost up in the camp. That I appreciate little Yost stopping by. Uh, to Brother Copper Indio, man, I thought you were gonna come up in here, but I know you stay busy. I keep telling y'all that he is the grudge. He crushes windpipes. That's why you see some dudes they just disappear. You don't know what happened to them, man, because they can't talk. Yeah, the brother Kerry Bay, the carpenter's son. Tell you, once the foundation has been laid, he can make sure he get the blueprints and build you a mansion not made by men's hands. So you better go check him out and the work that he's doing in the booth. In case y'all didn't know, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. I appreciate you. To again, to those that are listening in, and to those that are listening and can't type in the chat anymore, even to you, I appreciate the thumbs down. I appreciate you listening. You probably got some talking points to keep y'all going, probably for your 72-hour marathon. And I see others are popping up on the scene, trying to go live as well. Lil Yost, man, you got way too much knowledge, man. People are waiting on you. People are waiting on you. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you know that I know that you know that I know that I know that you know. Oh, and that's the Pierre L. Greetings. I'm glad that you were able to pop up and show up. Hope to continue leading your feed. You know what? I'm gonna go live tomorrow. I'll go live tomorrow. It won't be this late. Like I said, I just wanted to give respect to Chief Warhorse that when an elder is speaking, you give them the floor. That's something that scammers won't teach you. They'll just grab the mic from an elder and try to tell an elder publicly that they're wrong, and that's not the way to go. So I would never do that. And I couldn't grab the mic if I wanted to, nor would I grab the mic and told her if she was wrong. How could I tell her she's wrong when she's right? In the words of Chris Tucker, she couldn't get no righter. And with that, I yield this cotton picking mic. Guado.